Hi everyone, another episode of Modern Day Alchemist or Modern Alchemist, where I am learning AI in public. And I'm not new to AI. I already have the basics. I am working on staying up to date to an extent to make me effective at work and life, integrating all aspects that's important to me to thrive instead of only survive. With that, I want to explain one of the most important decisions in AI strategy. What is that? It is when should we use closed model versus when should we use open model. So closed model example are commercial models like GPT, Claude, Gemini. Open models are open source model that you can, for example, Llama, Mistral, Gemma. Now, let me explain the difference with a story. So, closed model is like hiring a consultant, and open model is hiring your own employee, where you have more control in one situation, in another situation you do not have. So for employee you have more control on that situation. So uh, for the open model, you can customize, you can host, and then you can dissect what's going on internally. Now, you may ask which model is better. N- it really depends on the situation, what business outcome we are trying to achieve. So, if it is, let's say, for huge document analysis that is not sensitive in nature, it is not sensitive in nature, or we are creating executive briefings, policy analysis. In such a case, using the closed commercial frontier model can make sense. In this case, uh, art of the possible, stronger reasoning, summarization, synthesis is needed. Cost is not a critical factor. S- Data classification sensitivity is not a critical factor. Sovereignty is not a critical factor. However, when any of those is a critical factor, in that case you would go for open model. For example, if there are millions and billions of requests to the AI model, that sums up to huge cost. In that case, you would want to have your own hosting, your hardware resources, and then uh, set up for your development team to use. You would go for open model. Also, if you are dealing with any protected C data, that would need uh, sovereignty and your uh, very strong security posture based own hosting environment. In such a case, open model would be preferable. So as a senior leader, you have to consider the risks, accountability, security posture, uh, vendor lock-in, or uh, not, that kind of aspects. And then Though for open model, you would have to deal with the infrastructure, model update, security patching, safety improvement, all of those complexity you have to deal with yourselves. So obviously there are benefits and there are both pros and cons. There are trade-offs to consider. So for closed model, we have less setup to do, less work and less control. In case of open model, we have more control, but with that, we have more responsibility as well. So always we have to focus on what constraint, what business outcome we are trying to achieve, what constraint we have to honor. Based on that, we can make a decision on whether to use closed model or to use open model. That's all for today. I hope this is useful for you. Thank you.